So we're leading the biggest ever innovation in digital reading and shaping the future of books. So we're a mobile app, and behind that, a content platform, a pretty advanced content platform. And our ambition is to make reading more accessible, more engaging, easier, and more sustainable. Well, I think we each have our own answers on this one, but I love that we are making our own adventure. So we're offering people a much needed alternative or an independent alternative to big tech in UK reading. And I'm personally so happy that this product exists and so grateful that Mark was able to build it. And the customer response has been really amazing. I think confirming our belief that the world needs xigxag.
Yeah, and I think my it's a subtly different take, but it's the same message really. So I think we're kind of changing the way that books can be enjoyed. So I think you've got a question later about reading, and I'm a really bad reader. I mean, I just don't ever find the time to sit and read. And now, because I mostly to start with had to test the product, I'm now a listener. And so because I can learn that way because I'm always busy, hands are busy. So I think we're building a platform to get people into books who aren't just the bookworms of the world. That's my take.
Well, it was super exciting to win and maybe a little bit unbelievable. But I think one thing that since we started, we've always been really committed to the idea that we can build a tech business out of Cornwall. And so I think the elevation of what we're doing to that platform is just really powerful because I think it's reinforcing that message that there's some cool things happening in Cornwall tech and we're just delighted to be a part of it.
Yeah, and my feeling was there's a load of excitement around buzzwordy startup AI and fintech and so on, and I thought it was great that our proposal resonated. So we really believe this is something new and exciting and useful to the world, and it kind of resonated. And it's nice that we were talking earlier about the UK and maybe just the Southwest. Certainly the London tech scene is kind of a fintech tech scene, and we're bringing kind of stories and ideas to people's worlds, which is a nice feeling, really.
Well, first, we don't make customers sign up to an inflexible subscription model to get a good price. We reward them for listening more, so they get better prices the more they buy over the course of a year, and it resets every year. We offer the first ever fully integrated listen and read experience. So for audiobook listeners, that means you can finally see illustrations, look up words you don't understand, search in the audiobook, take notes, share quotes, switch to reading, read along. So we think we're helping people who are kind of proficient readers enjoy more books and get more out of the books that they're enjoying. And also making books more accessible to people that struggle to read, because listening is maybe a lower bar to getting into reading. The ability to have both at once helps drive comprehension outcomes for those that aren't maybe natural readers. And so I think we're just really excited about that.
Yeah, and if you use the word crowd, so if you stick us in the audiobook crowd, it's actually an interesting crowd because it's really big tech that dominate that crowd. And I think, our difference is, we're friendly, we're fair, both to customers and authors. That's where we want to be, because we think that creators should be paid and customers should be respected. And we're trying to serve every type of reader with one product. So we're more universal, I think.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is, these formats really haven't been innovated in at least a decade. So in some ways, we're really the only ones driving innovation in something that is really dominated by big tech. And because we're not big tech, we have the flexibility to do it. And that's, I think, a cool differentiation point as well. We're still a really small team, so I think all told we're kind of 5, and not all of those are full-time contributors yet. So it's pretty amazing what we built on such a small team. And I would say it was really Mark building it. But it's really amazing what he's built with such a small team. And he's just enabled us through technology to do more because so much can be automated. And so it's been really such an interesting lesson in the power of automation, I think.
And it's pretty exciting to, we by force of nature, we've all been working from home, but we would have worked from home anyway on this project. And to be at home, to be handling a library of more than 30,000 books and to have people in New Zealand buy them is really exciting. To have that global reach just from a humble little cottage in Cornwall is pretty exciting.
A little bit linked to what Mark just said, but if you're busy, audiobooks are a brilliant way to recharge a reading habit. I got back into reading after, having kids and trying to work and balance it all. So you can enjoy books while doing other things. And, personally, listening to an author tell me their own story in their own voice is incredibly magical. It's like I get to listen to Obama talk to me in my ear. And, that's just pretty cool. So, and we think xigxag is the perfect place to start because there's no commitment. We are doing something interesting and new. We're homegrown, kind of UK based, and really, trying to treat everyone and try to be much more consumer centric with our offering than I think, as we said, the big tech alternatives.
And also just bear in mind that listening is reading and it's not cheating. And actually, spoken word came before the printed word. So get that out of your head. Listening is reading, it's not cheating. And when you're, cleaning or running or sewing or waiting or commuting, then listen and you'll get through more books. It's a revelation. The difference with our solution is that if you hear a word, I'm listening to a Stephen Fry book at the moment, and he's got a very wide vocabulary. And so he'll choose a word that's probably only been spoken by 3 people in the last decade. And so, but with our solution, you can look it up as well. So you hear it, you go, what the hell did he just say? And you can look up the word. If we don't have it in the dictionary, you can go to Wikipedia and it'll give you the whole etymology of the word. So you can build your vocabulary even though you're listening.
The other cool thing is Mark has built an ability to track all the words you look up in the app as well. So if you are looking stuff up, it's actually a place where you can go back and actually see the words that you've looked up, refer to them again if you can't remember. And I, like you, really do find that helps improve my vocabulary. And I've always used books in that way. So that was an important kind of feature. I think I'm not sure anyone's using it except me, but Mark built it and I'm really pleased it exists. So. Well, it was a total roller coaster ride for us, but overall it was amazing because it was super encouraging to access new investors and customers. And we were really, I think, encouraged and excited by the number of people that came to say something along the lines of, oh my gosh, I've been waiting for somebody to come and do this. And I'm so excited about this as a solution. These were the problems I had. So they completely understood the problem that we were trying to solve. And we're excited that there was somebody there solving it. And so that, I think, was probably the best takeaway. And I think that, for consumer businesses, it's just a great opportunity to both attract customers as well as investors. Well, I think it's probably not for everyone. So I think you do really need to think about whether your brand and your business model kind of matches. So tends to be consumer businesses, but not exclusively. And, you do have to have a bit of a customer base, I think, on which to build. But I think the best piece of advice I would say is speak to founders who have raised successfully on the specific platform you're considering and get their 10 tips and tricks, because everything really moves really quickly. You need to be prepared for everything that's about to happen because it just happens so quickly. And the crowdfunding platforms are actually really big brands now, and they're pretty sophisticated. So as a small company, you still feel like, the power balance is kind of in their favor. And obviously they're trying to maximize their share of what you raise in the platform. So I think it serves everyone well to be better informed and specifically informed about what's going to happen when you get started.
And don't let your developers have access to the portal because it becomes addictive watching, because things are moving. So it becomes addictive to just go off and see, well, what's happening now?
Dopamine.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's really interesting reflecting on this because in some ways the greatest challenge is what's possible. There's so much we can do with this brand, with this platform. It's almost like too much opportunity versus where we are today. And so trying to think about how do you stay focused on what needs to get solved now and where you're going, right? So here's the vision of everything we could possibly do. And what are the sets of things that we can do now, that we can do in 3 months' time, that we can achieve in 6 months' time? And then what can we do when we have millions of people on the platform? Which, those things, you have to be really disciplined to agree those things. And sometimes I go off on crazy tangents, and Mark is really good as a balance for me and kind of getting me focused and helping me think about, the immediate next steps, so that I'm then not distracting everyone else with what else has to get done. It's obviously a really exciting problem to have, but it's probably the biggest thing that we face on a regular basis. And I think, the way we get over it is through communication and kind of mutual respect and trust, and, Mark basically keeping me in check. So. I was recently featured on a podcast, and we just agreed, who wouldn't want to base their business in Cornwall? It's just such a brilliant part of the world. But I'll let Mark talk a little bit more specifically about it.
I think Cornwall, there's kind of what I call space to be. It feels to me that it's a small population with a reasonably large amount of space to sort of be in, which I really like. And I love this kind of tiny population that punches, across Britain, it punches above its weight. It's envied and famous and known, and that's really nice. And being a peninsula feels very distinct and bounded. And so I like all of those things. And then there's the kind of history of innovation that runs through the county, which we've lost. It's gone with the last demise of the Industrial Revolution. And I think it's really exciting to feel that good broadband, clever people bring that kind of innovation and industry back into the county. So, my expression, because I, had to get work by traveling to London like a lot of my friends and colleagues do down here. My expression was always, it's a terrible place to start your day if your work is in London, but it's such a brilliant place to end your day. And that's Cornwall for me.
Well, hopefully everywhere. We're working really hard to raise awareness of the brand and delight our customers with the experience they get in the app. So we hope to attract more big name publishers to support us in our innovation. We want to work with communities that we feel are particularly underserved by a lack of innovation in publishing. We aim to achieve B Corp certification to validate the sustainability of our business, and as another way in which we differentiate ourselves from big tech competitors. So I think, and obviously more features, more improvements in the app. That's kind of what people can expect from us, I think, in the next 12 months. Well, just definitely download and try it out at xigxag.co.uk. We have 33,000 titles, as Mark said. So definitely find something that you will like. And
no credit card required.
No
subscription.
No subscription.
And then a large number of our books, you can, for no extra charge, you can read them as well as listen to them. So we got it covered every way.